Okay, welcome back. We're going to finish up with the vocabulary for The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. This says continued. That's the abbreviation. So I asked you to think about the words that we looked at so far and start to make some predictions about what this story might be about. To me, with the word accusation and suspicion, it makes me wonder if somebody has done something wrong and is going to get in trouble. So now I want you to think the same thing. We're going to do 7 more words, and then you'll be ready to listen to and read this story. Okay, this word is transfixed. To be transfixed, this is a good picture for it. This guy has hypnotized the woman, and she is completely held motionless. She cannot move. That's what transfixed means, to be completely held motionless. Here's a sentence. She was transfixed by her fear of making the wrong decision. She could not make a move. So in the sentence, the person is so afraid they can't do anything. That's what transfixed means. I love this one because I love Batman. This word is antagonism. Sometimes you hear the word antagonist in language arts. When you talk about stories, they have a protagonist and an antagonist. The antagonist in the story is the person who is against the main character. An antagonist is usually hostile and unfriendly. So when you think about Batman and Joker, they're enemies. Batman is usually the good guy, and the Joker is the bad guy. He's the antagonist. Here's a sentence. The Joker is always full of antagonism for Batman. The Joker hates Batman and wants to harm him. This word is a very important word. You're going to come across this word again in literature and in history. The word is scapegoat. You probably know the animal goat. That's exactly what it's referring to here. And this word, scape, sort of like in the word escape. If you look at the picture, it might help you to understand. A scapegoat is a person who gets blamed for someone else's actions. We have a picture here of France, Germany, Austria, the British Empire, Turkey, Italy, and Russia. Each of these characters represents a country. In World War II, these countries blamed the Jewish people, represented here by the small figure. They used the Jewish people as a scapegoat. In other words, they blamed one group of people for the actions of others. Here's a sentence that uses it. During World War II, many countries used Jewish people as a scapegoat, blaming them for their country's problems. Next year, you'll read the Diary of Anne Frank and you'll learn more about this historic situation, but you'll definitely see this word again, a scapegoat. The next word is incriminate. Here's that root word in again, except this time it doesn't mean not, it means actually in. And we also hear criminal. We have incriminate. The base word is criminal. To incriminate someone means to show that they're guilty or accuse them of being guilty. That's why I picked out the wanted sign. This man has been incriminated for a bank robbery. Here's the sentence. The police found evidence to incriminate the man for stealing money from the bank. Okay, the next word is prejudices. If you take the S off, it's prejudice. That's a word you might have heard before. I chose this picture of Martin Luther King Jr. because he's a famous figure who stood up against prejudices. Prejudice is an opinion that someone forms without fairly judging those involved. Here's a sentence that uses it. Martin Luther King Jr. fought against the prejudices of a country that did not accept all people as equals. A prejudice means that you believe other people are not as good as you are, and you aren't being fair. This word is circumstances. Circumstances are things that are connected to an act or event. The poster says, your present circumstances don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start. It's referring to whatever might be true in your life, those things aren't going to define it. Your circumstances don't mean you only have one direction. You can go anywhere you want. Here's a sentence that uses it. Due to circumstances beyond his control, he was not able to play in the soccer game. He was sick and had a twisted ankle. So the circumstances, or the events that are connected, are the fact that he was sick and had a twisted ankle, and that related to him not being able to play. This word is optimism. Optimism means that you see the bright side of things. That's why I picked this picture. Hope is something that you have in your heart that helps you look forward to the future. It's the opposite of despair. Despair is when you give up, and that's why the arrow is pointing backwards. Optimism means you choose to look on the bright side. Here's a sentence. Her optimism helped everyone around her to believe that things would work out for the best. Optimism basically means having a positive attitude. Okay, so now I want you to think about what's going to happen in this story. The beginning, the first 7 words had some things to do with being suspects, being accused. That continued a little with the next set of words, but it ends with the word optimism. So that might make us wonder what's going to happen when the story's over. Here they are again. Transfixed, antagonism, scapegoat, incriminate, prejudices, circumstances, and optimism. Make sure you notice these words when you're reading the story and have fun when you get to the monsters who are due on Maple Street.